Hey guys, welcome to Broad Street to Britain, a UK Phillies show with me, Dave Shaw, and as ever, Richard Skinner and Morgan Bruce. Richard, how are we, buddy?
Yeah, pretty good. Exciting times. But yeah, pretty good. Not quite as tired. I've managed to catch up on some sleep after a lot of late nights with the Phillies and the Flyers. But yeah, it's should be a nice.
Shall we talk a bit of Flyers? Just a little bit.
It's
Just
just
have a
a
little
little
bit of
bit of
positivity in this
positivity.
podcast because the rest of the show could be misery.
We do
How
it.
about those Flyers into the
We actually
playoffs?
do it.
Amazing scenes. Look, what a sort of fairy tale the Flyers seem to be
Yeah.
turning into right now. And Penguins, huge rivalry matchup. How are we feeling, Rich, as our correspondent Flyers, UK Flyers reporter?
I'm just happy to be there. I mean, to be honest, I think we can beat the Penguins, and the issue is that any other team we'd got in the first round, if we'd lost, I'd kind of obviously be good, but we wouldn't expect us to make the playoffs. We had like a 3% chance back in March. So any other team, you're going, oh, you'll lose first round as long as we put up a good effort. But because it's the Penguins, like, oh, we have to win. We
Yeah,
have to beat them.
it feels like there's not a lot of pressure on that. That could be a good
Yeah.
thing for the Flyers. It really could. Like he said, everyone's just happy to be there. An incredible. Because was it 3%? Did I see back
Yeah, it's
in
like
March?
3.5% maybe. Yeah, and then we've been one of the best teams since coming back from the Olympics, and that game against Carolina on whatever night it was, Tuesday night for us, I think. Oh, that was a roller coaster!
I watched the highlights in the
all way to
morning.
shootout. Oh, I was up live, and it was stressful.
And how about Martone? Like,
Oh,
what an impact.
He's a star.
We're going to be talking about how can we get sparks later on this Phillies team, but Martone has certainly given something extra to the Flyers from what I can see on the outside.
Yeah, 100%. He's I mean, there's been lots of changes since the break. I think moving Mitchell back to the right, and so anyway, we'll get into a Flyers whole thing. But yeah, Martin's certainly been a spark, and yeah, like we'll come on to sparks later because I think you and I both have something to say about that.
We do. I'm just trying to start positive. Morgan, how are you, buddy? Exciting times for your sports team. York City on the verge of getting into the Football League.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was in Spain, flew to Spain on Saturday night, flew home on Tuesday night. So, yeah, three nights away with three of my best mates. So I'm actually doing all right. Yeah, and football's actually keeping me going at the moment because with the Phils being the Phils, I've got other things to look at. So, yeah, I mean, I'm back running again, or started running. I'm feeling quite
Oh,
good
good
about that.
man.
And, yeah, and I was in Spain for 3 nights with three of my best mates. So,
Are you
this
running?
week-
You running competitively or?
No, I just wanted to get fit again and started doing that. So I did a 28 min 5K on
good
Wednesday
going.
night. So like quite happy with that. And yeah, it's just kind of keeping my mind away from baseball because with my fantasy team selling at the moment, I won the first 2, and then this week is going badly, and the Phil's doing the Phil's things. So like, if we ignore baseball, things are going quite well.
Richard knows
But we're
what's
here to
coming.
talk baseball.
Fantasy baseball. Me and Richard are in this week's matchup. Doing categories. It's currently UK Phillies 10.
Do you remember last year fantasy baseball when you sent me a message, probably on the Thursday or the Friday, because you were when we were doing Points League, and you were miles and miles ahead of me. And what happened come Sunday?
Yeah. All right.
And,
No, okay. All right. I just love my fantasy team this year. I
mean,
think.
it's going to be great until all your pitchers get injured because you drafted.
And then I've had it. I've got
non-stop.
Skeens, Gavin Williams, Chris Sanchez. I keep swapping Hancock from the Mariners and Nola around. Although Hancock's going to stay for a while, Nola can stay well away from my team. Painter as a needs be if I need the extra points. And then I've got Miller, Johan Duran, and then Rogers at the Blue Jays, who gave up his first earned run last night. But yeah, the pitching's gonna power me through. And Brandon Marsh is probably one of my best hitters at the moment, offensively wise.
Yeah, my Vlad's doing nothing for me, and Brent Rook is injured. Christian Yelich is injured. Obviously, I've already got
Whop,
Zach Wheeler in my
whop. I'm like, look, I've gone through a whole season of just losing one regular season game and then getting knocked out in the playoffs, so I'm not getting too far ahead of myself. But all right, it feels like it's the same as last week's show. Look,
Rip the Band-Aid off.
rip the Band-Aid off. It's a long
Restart.
season, blah blah blah. But we are 18 games in now. We've lost 3 series at home already as many as what we lost at home last year, and the the nature of the losses are horrible. Like, everything is going wrong. Defensively, some of the errors are just horrible. Basics, like real basics, lack of concentration. It's the confidence low. This team looks low on confidence. Like, basic plays we should be making are just not happening. The amount of runs we allowed, I think it was 28 runs allowed in this series. The first time since 2023 we've had 2 games back to back allowing more than 10 or 8, 9 runs, something ridiculous like that. Again, the bats froze after game 1. We could have called that, could have put my house on that. It's just already getting to a point of this can't be happening. Not this year, when we need to go all in, especially with what could be coming up next year. It could be a very, very different scene in baseball next year. The players are sort of now, some of them are going on to the latter years of their career. We don't have time to mess around in April. Now, you can't win a championship in April, but you can certainly lose a lot of ground in April. And I'm wary that the Braves have made a very nice start. They look strong. Big test for the Phillies this weekend. But we look lethargic. We look low on confidence. No spark. And it's just... I just... Watching last night, I watched the first 2 innings. When we went down, I just thought, nah, I'm turning it off. I watched as far as the 7th inning of the highlights this morning and thought, nah, I already know this is going to go. It's miserable. What is going on, Richard? What is going on? What is the answer?
It's hard to tell, and I don't want to get into too much of the advanced metrics and whatever, which tell you actually, like, certainly with the pitching anyway, we should be doing okay, because there's only so much of that you can do. You need results. You can go, you don't win a World Series by going, oh, well, look at our advanced stats. I think it's really hard to put your finger on. I know you said earlier, is it everyone's just past it? But I think, we were, as a fan base, was pretty much as a whole clamoring to bring Schwarber back. JT, I'm probably a bit more split, but I'd say mostly people wanted him back.
He's also hitting really well. Like,
I'm not saying they're doing bad.
He's like one of the older ones. He's the one that you'd expect to get some of the clamoring, and he's hitting well. So, like, it's not him you'd expect to be doing well.
Yeah. Trey's, I think, having a decent season. He's getting on base a lot. Obviously, he got a home run. He's never going to be a huge home run hitter. But it's just... It's everything seems to go wrong at once, or everything seems... I mean, we had the game the other night where we just couldn't stop scoring. It seems everything either goes right altogether or everything goes wrong, and it just seems if one thing goes wrong, the whole team just kind of goes, I guess we're losing this game.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. The confidence, the vibes, it's just... There's no, like, it's different for us, watching football in the Premier League. When a team goes down, you see the manager on the sidelines, like, and the coaching staff on the sidelines trying to pump their team up and get them going. I don't think there's equivalent of that in baseball, but sometimes I would just like to see a little bit of emotion from Topper, or from just somebody to give them a spark. Who's the leader? Like, where... I know Bryce is doing it with the bat, and he's getting hot. He's going yard. He's getting doubles. Unfortunately, there's nobody on base. But where's the vibes that we saw a couple of years ago? Even again, some emotion. Someone doing a double and some little celebration, banging the side of the dugout, like just something, some emotion. It's static. And I know that we touched on it last week that they're being a bit more sensible and serious, but maybe that's holding them back. Maybe they need to be more expressive. Maybe they do need to play with a bit more freedom. What's stopping that? Is it Topper? Is it Dombrowski? I don't know. Have they been told to rein it in? But I miss the fun Phillies, I miss the expressive Phillies. I miss the team bonding. You had the daycare. Then you had, Bone, Marsh, and Stott, that great little trio. And you had the Latinos, and you had just vibes everywhere, and so much going on, little personal celebrations. And now, the most emotion I've seen from any players is probably Crawford and Sosa. You just don't see anything, and it's really frustrating to watch. As a fan, it's already April, and the players just look flat. And I know they haven't got much to celebrate right now and to get emotional about, but they just, like you said, once they go behind, that's it. There seems to shut up shop and go, well, there's always tomorrow. Morgan, what are you making of it all, buddy?
I don't know what's going wrong. Like it might be the players just going through the motions because, as we've said, we've got loads of players that have been there and done it, and this team does feel stale. And the one player that we've brought up who's going to add something is Justin Crawford, but I don't feel like he adds that spark because
He's cooling off now a little bit as well.
He is cooling off as well, but at the same time, he's been surrounded by major league players his entire life. His dad was an all-star and was in the majors for over a decade, I think. Like, he was brought up in this very professional environment. When Bohm, Stott, and Marsh were together, there felt like some raw, young energy out of it. Crawford doesn't feel like he's got that. He feels like he's a grown-up. He's 22, but he feels so mature beyond his age that he fits in with the older lads. It feels weird that the younger guy is almost or he's mature and it's an issue. You almost want that little bit of rookie, youthful kind of almost mistake, if that makes sense. It's like, oh, he's having fun, he's going for it, he'll make a mistake, but it's kind of okay because he's learning on the job. He's cooled off a little bit, but he fit in almost too well. Whereas the older guys, JT's going through the motions, Harper's going through the motions, and yeah, Harper's hitting really well. Schwarber's going through the motions. Trey is getting on base, even though he's not having as good a year as he had last year. Everyone just seems to be going through the motions. Garcia's adding a little bit, like that throw where he got the guy.
I like Garcia.
And Garcia, he's hitting really well against lefties as well. But like, it just feels like there is just a little bit of a lack. I don't know if
even from Marsh, you're right. Like, you don't see the Marsh. I'm not saying I want a jokey, all-out Marshy, but just something. I thought him and Crawford and Garcia would be a really fun dynamic out in the outfield. Yeah. And I don't just want vibes. I need performance as well. But you want a good mix of both, right?
Yeah, you need an injection. I mean, like we were saying, you look at the Flyers with like Porter Martone or Trevor Zegras earlier in the season. Even like a young kid like Denver Barkey, who's not a superstar by any means, but he's added a bit of a spark. Or you look back to the Eagles when they won the Super Bowl, you had Cooper DeJean come in and the energy he brought around the team and the fan base. And yeah, it's not a knock on Crawford, but he doesn't seem to have that. I mean, you don't even need to be. You look at what happened with Harrison Bader last year. I know he played really well for us, but he's not. You would never class Harrison Bader as like a superstar player.
He's not
he added something.
He was walking around in crop tops, and everyone loved him for it. Like, yes, he was playing really well, but he was saying like, what a gift, and he had sayings. He was walking around in a crop top, and everyone loved him for it. And it was 2 months, and I think that's part of why people wanted him back because he was always going to cool off, and he's been really poor with the Giants. But it's why people wanted him back. Casti, yes, there was times he was hitting badly, but at the same time, Nick Castellanos, he would come out with these quotes saying that Scooby-Doo was his favorite superhero, or he'd have his like third button on.
I think the fans enjoyed that more than the team if we were reading some of the
articles.
I take your point.
The team had character.
Yeah, like Casti, he had a relationship with Rojas, and he was like he had him under his wing, and like some of these players that we've lost had that energy. And Rhys Hoskins, you can see the jersey I've got just there. I think his injury hurts really badly because he was almost that Met killer, and we seem to lose that Met killer as well that had that energy. And Rhys obviously came through and was withered when we were bad. And when he came up, he obviously had that really good run when he was a rookie, and everyone was like, all right, cool, we've got someone to root for now. And then he knew what Philly was like when they were bad, and then when he was good, and he had the bat spike against in the playoffs and everything. So we've lost Rhys over the last few years. Harrison Bader was 2 months. Casti's turned out so poorly that he had to be cut. There isn't any energy. Harper's great, but he seems to lead quietly and with the bat. Schwarber, again, he doesn't seem to be a loud leader. JT is consummate professional. There's a load of adults and grown-ups, but there's no one with that spark. You look around other teams, and like one of my favorite players in the league is Fernando Tatis Jr. in San Diego. You watch the energy that he plays with, and you can see how the entire team rallies around him and some of their other players. I just don't see where that comes from, and I'm hoping Adolis kind of grows into that a little bit more. And I think I saw a report, I think it was by Charlotte Barnes, I'm sorry if that's wrong, but he's now got like DJ duties in the clubhouse. Is that going to make a difference? Because people have called like that's what Stubbs was, and then obviously Stubbs is in AAA. Do we need Adolis to be the DJ in the clubhouse? If Sosa gets more game time because Bone probably needs compassionate leave, to be honest, because of Bohm's personal issues.
Yeah, we'll get to that
He's not hitting well, and I think he needs time away. Does Sosa and Adolis then kind of, are they the spark together because they've been friends since their St. Louis days? Like, where does it come from? I'm hoping it's Adolis Garcia, but we need it from somewhere, wherever it is.
I just wonder. We seem to crumple now for the last few years in pressure situations, and I'm starting to wonder if this team can handle the pressure. And there is an immense amount of pressure because the expectancy is to win now. And the fact that Citizens Bank Park used to be a fortress, used to be 4 hours of hell, as the opposition used to say. Now we've already lost 3 series there. The Boo Birds are out every era now. I think it plays on them. I think it plays on them, and I wonder if they're getting fed up, and that's why their heads are dropping. Is it because there's too much pressure? Because, again, getting on base isn't that much of a problem. It's runners in scoring position. Although saying that, the pitching sort of fell apart in this Cubs series, and blowing 2 leads is again, everything that can go wrong is going wrong right now. You would hope that, Mesa, the run is over from him. Seth Johnson blew up. Did Topper leave him in too long? Probably. I think Topper's making errors, like taking out bases loaded, taking out Brandon Marsh, Alec Bohm was just the biggest. Look, I get it, the matchups, but Brandon Marsh at that point was batting over 300. Give him that shot. He's red hot. I'm sorry, but I know he wanted Bohm to. You can't do it for a player. You got to do it for a team. And I know he wants, and we all want Bohm to come out this slump. And if he'd got a knock there, that would have done it. But all 4 pitches were inside and out the plate. There were 4 balls that he struck out on. 4 balls. He went for nearly all of them. All inside. They all know how to pitch to him. Look, Morgan, why did you put a picture of Bohm on your screen? As I talk about Bohm, it's so frustrating. Marsh should have stayed in there. I think that was a genuine error by Topper taking Marsh. I know it's hindsight, and baseball is a lot of comments that are on hindsight. That's the way baseball goes. It's a lot 50-50. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. But in that situation, Marsh, who had a great game 1 as well, and has really started the season well, one of the better players for the Phillies, who, again, maybe should be batting behind Garcia now. I just think, and I wonder now how much time, how much leeway, how much lead does Topper have? Because we don't, like I said before, we don't have time. We don't have time to mess around trying to figure it out. We need to sort of figure it out quick. We need a spark. Wood putting Mattingly straight up there, which I kind of feel he was brought in for. I don't know. I think it's a bit of a contingency bringing Mattingly in like this, because if it's the start we've had, it must be on their mind that, look, we've got a ready-made replacement in Mattingly, someone who has done it before. What do you reckon, guys? How much time do you think Topper's got? If it continues for too much longer, especially in the manner of these defeats, which it starts at the top, right? Richard, what would you say? Or Kevin Long? What would you do?
Yeah, like I said, I think it's the manner of the defeats. You could almost take losing and I'm still not. I'm not worried. I am bordering on concerned for the season as a whole. I'm not quite there yet. It is a long season, but yeah, it is the manner of the defeats. And if you're going early and playing all right and you're losing by 1 or 2, you'd kind of go, okay, well, look, we're getting some. But yeah, it's the other than the occasional game when we go, oh, they figured it out, and then they just go right back to doing nothing.
Yeah, there's no momentum.
Yeah, I think if the manner of the defeat continues, I don't see how much it's going to be a question. I don't think we've gone into the season thinking Topper's job is unsafe, but I don't think we're there. I don't think we're that close yet. But it is now a valid question. Which I think if you'd said, would we be questioning Topper's job, mid-April, I don't think any of us would have said yeah.
Because we are, like I said, you can't win it in April, but you've got to stop the spiraling. Like, we're not even playing big teams right now. We're playing the Cubs, who are probably going to be there or thereabouts, playoffs. We're playing the D-backs, who again, probably going to be there or thereabouts for a wild card. No, we're playing teams. The Nationals are going to be, although they're scoring a hatful of runs right now, the Washington Nationals just can't get their pitching figured out. Otherwise, they would be mighty right now. But we're playing the Nationals. We're playing teams who are probably going to be there or thereabouts for a wild card spot or below. We haven't faced any elite pitching yet. Not majorly strong bullpens. You know, you see these guys coming in on the opposing bullpens of ERAs of some 6, some 7. We just every episode, and and we just don't do anything. It's just, again, the manner, and we've got to stop this spiraling, because our May and June really is tough. Our whole April is, again, we've got the Cubs again coming, the D-backs again coming up, the Braves twice. That's going to be a test in itself. If we wanted to get a jolt this season, beating the Braves would definitely do that, because. And I look at this Braves team and think they've started well, but that's a beatable team right there, especially with the pitching. Morgan, what do you reckon? Topper, he's starting to get on borrowed time. Concerned? Where are you?
Concerned. I don't want to be there. I know everyone says Memorial Day. Memorial Day is the 25th of May. So we've got another about 6 weeks until that point when people actually start paying attention to what decisions do we need to make. This is the closest. I know people were asking in the WhatsApp group earlier today, like, is Topper close to being sacked? Who's the replacement? This is the most concerned I've been for his job since he got it when we were 22 and 29 when Joe Girardi got sacked. This is the most concerned I've been since 2022. He's looked the complete part. He added so much to that team when he gave Stott chance over Didi Gregorius and stuff like that. And since that point, he added that energy, and everything just feels more and more stale. And it's the most concerned I've been for his job. And I don't understand, as I said at the top, I don't understand where this comes from, or kind of what's going on in terms of how you fix it. Because I am concerned for his job, because there isn't energy. And I know, like, if it is Mattingly to replace him, I said it in the WhatsApp group earlier, he's going to be very similar to Topper. They're lifelong baseball guys. Topper took this job because he was going to retire and got this instead. Mattingly's the same. He only came here because Preston's the GM. How much difference does it make having another old guy in charge? We're not going to do a Giants and go get Tony Vitello straight out of college. We're not going to have one of the younger managers in the sport, like Kurt Suzuki's with the Angels and Stephen Vogt, I think, is with the Guardians. There's a few younger managers in the sport. The Phillies aren't doing that. You've got older players on longer contracts who have been there and done it. You need a manager to match it. But then if one of those guys isn't working, then how much does another fix it? So if Topper goes, are we just going to spiral? You look at the Braves, and end up Brian Snitker lost his job over the winter and now isn't the manager of the Braves with Reyes getting the job.
Yeah.
Are we going to do the same thing? Obviously, we don't have the same injury issues. We haven't had, like, Acuna did his ACL and they've had loads of players go down with silly injuries. We've not had that. But we do feel like there's a lot of parallels between us and the Atlanta Braves of last year, and we saw how that ended, and I don't want that to be...
This is the thing.
I don't want April 16th. I don't want to write off the season now, but I'm slightly concerned already.
I don't want it to spiral. You know, they're losing the fans already. You know, again, the amount of boos, the empty seats, and Topper's at risk of losing it as well. And I haven't heard one player coming out to defend Topper. In fact, every time you hear Bryce, he's very always against the opposite of what Topper says. The fact that Topper keeps coming out and saying he doesn't... I don't know if he's watching a different game sometimes. Like, we're not in these games now. We're not.
Has Topper ever said anything in, like, a public interview, though, that's worth anything?
No.
Well, it's not a knock on him. I know it's like
no, I know what you mean.
In general,
yeah.
It's just, they're saying the same recycled stuff because they don't want the press to jump on anything. But yeah, I've never really listened to. I don't really listen to his interviews that much because you can kind of guarantee what he's going to say regardless of the result. Yeah,
it's a stuck record, which again they're keeping themselves polished and squeaky clean. I just, we lose to the Braves and then we go. Well, this is a 3-game homestand. If we lost all 3 of these, I think serious questions will be asked. We scored 19 runs, the bulk of that in the first game. Runs against 28. Players. I picked out 3. I'll add Harper as a now because the home run last night was good. He is swinging the bat better. It seemed to be just a matter of time before he was going to click. He was just behind the fastball all the time. He's getting on top of that now. But even Harper getting hot doesn't seem to be sparking anything. This is why I'm worried. We are having sparks. Sanchez hasn't been lights out yet. However, still just 2 earned run allowed. Still getting the strikeouts. ERA 2.0. Luzardo, that's a worry. He's been a worry. He says he's not tipping pitches, but with runners in scoring position or opposing players on base, Luzardo's fort is crumbling. It's like how Nola was a couple of years ago. Absolutely crumbling. Real worry and concern. Nico Horner just was hitting the ball for fun. It's like he was seeing beach balls all series. It's a worry. It's a real worry. Nola hasn't got there yet.
I think There's a really weird one because some of his numbers are really worrying, especially runs in scoring position. He seems to crumble. But then when you look at some of the other stats, he's fifth in baseball for K to walk rate. Like, he's still striking guys out and not walking people, but he's getting really hit about, especially runs in scoring position. So some of it's absolutely fine. You're thinking he looks lights out, and then some of it looks really bad. The first 2 innings, he's not allowed to run yet, I don't think. But the third and fourth inning, I think
Second time around the order, basically, yeah.
Third inning, he's got an ERA of 9, and the fourth inning, he's got an ERA in double digits. I can't remember exactly what the number is, but I saw it earlier. The seventh
15. It was something ridiculous, I think.
The seventh inning, he's got an ERA of 0. So if he can get to that point, he's fine. And I think he's done it once this year.
Problem is, we're out the game by then.
Yeah, but it's just like I saw a tweet of his ERA per inning this year, and some of it looks really good, and some of it's really concerning. And again, some of the advanced numbers are really good, some of it's really concerning. So I don't know where we're at with Luzardo because he was awesome. Then he gets this massive extension, and thinking, "Sam, we've got him locked up," and then what's happening?
I just hope Luzardo wasn't classic pitching for a contract, and now he's got it. I don't know. Early days of Luzardo, he had this mini slump last year and managed to pitch his way out of it, and then went on to be pretty elite going into the final few games last year. So I like to think that he's just figuring some things out. He'll be fine. Wheeler has got one more start, I believe, but even so, Zach's not. I don't think near where he was before he went down. Like, nothing. I think it will still take a while, even when he comes back, for him to really find his groove. And he is in his spring training right now. That has to be remembered. Kyle Schwarber, like I said, got this 2 home runs in game 1. 6 on the season for Kyle. 12 RBIs. Souza, big plus. Souza, 4 hits in the series. His average is now up to 2.86. Remember, there's a slightly smaller sample size on Souza. 1 home run, 5 RBIs on the year, 3 in this series. Good defensive play, putting the pressure even more on Bohm, we're going to get to in a second. JT's also hitting well. His average is about 0.278, I think. Came up to two at-bats last night, mind you. But JT's just starting to swing the ball, swing the bat quite nicely right now. And Brandon Marsh also got 4 hits in the series, so his average has slightly dipped to 2.90. Had another double. It's 4 in a season for him. 2 RBIs in the series. 11 RBI overall. 1 behind Kyle. Brandon has been, and Souza and Shaw, but all 3 of them, and Harper at the moment, have been definite bright sparks. Someone who's in a real concern is Alec Bohm. My prediction of 100 RBI looks wild. Absolutely wild right now. He's batting at a 1.45 average, 1 home run on opening day, 10 RBI. Though I think someone said 3 of those have been sac flies. OPS of .427. I can't help feel that the background stuff is going to affect him. That's normal. You know what he's going through. You can't even imagine, like, suing his parents, sacking Scott Boras, getting his own agent. Like, the guy's life sounds like awful. It sounds like a lot to go through for any normal person, and it's just this seems to be happening at the wrong time for him. And there's an article saying how I can't remember who wrote it. I'll have to find out in a minute. But it was really well done. How he slumped in the dugout, and Kyle sort of sat next to him, put his arm around him and a shoulder to sort of lean on. But the guy is going through it. It's horrible to see because we know how he struggles with mentally as it is. It's coming at the wrong time for him. I don't know what you do with Alec. Because I think if you start playing him less, he's the sort of player to me that's going to get affected by that more and sort of then really feel that everything's against him. He's now not playing as regular with everything on the back. I don't know how you fix Alec at the moment, and I think it's something which is very personal for him, and I don't, 29 years old, he should be in the peak of his career. His Phillies future looks pretty one way at this point. Morgan, I know you were about to talk about it earlier on. Bohm's problems I don't think are fixable for us.
Not on the baseball side, I don't think they're not. I think the best thing for him is to be given the restricted list, compassionate leave, something like that, because no one, like if you're going to work every day while you're seeing your parents, anyone in a normal 9-to-5 job is struggling with that. You're talking to your manager saying, what support can you give me as a workspace? I don't know what the Phillies can do for him on the personal side, but he should not be playing baseball. He shouldn't be. He needs to step away from it all because it sounds horrible to deal with. Like any sort of court proceeding would be horrible for him at this point. But with his own parents, he shouldn't be involved in baseball at the moment. Mitch Rupert put out a tweet yesterday. This might not be fully accurate because of the Cubs game. I've not fully checked it. But in 66 plate appearances this season, he hasn't pulled a ball in the air at all yet. He hasn't pulled a fly ball down the third base line at all. And that's a fly out, a home run, a double. No matter what, he's not pulled a fly ball at all. He's got one home run. It went to the opposite field on opening day. And something just feels massively up because how can you not pull a fly ball? Like, I know that's not usually his game, but there's something massively up. I don't think he should be involved with the Phillies baseball team at the moment. I think he should be on the restricted list. Give Edmundo Sosa the everyday job for third. I don't massively trust Sosa to play every day. Like, I think he's getting short stints. But give Sosa the everyday job. You put someone else in that bench spot.
Well, Morgan, your sound's starting to struggle there, mate.
Sounds starting to struggle.
Oh, there you go. That's better.
You move Bohm away from baseball activities. You put someone else on the bench and you put Sosa at third base every day, I think.
Yeah, his head's not there, and I think with him now starting to play less and less, I just couldn't imagine it. Imagine suing your parents, and now he's sacked Scott Boras. There just seems there's so much going on. I can't help feel that a fresh start somewhere would do him the world of good. I don't know where that would be. I don't even know what would get for him, but I do think there is a player there who has still got something to give and some good production and possibly still a 90, 95 RBI man. But I just don't think, and I'd love to be proved wrong. Love to. He's my man. He's my boy. And it's hard to see him like this. But I just can't help feel that his need is going to be elsewhere now. Rich, what do you reckon, buddy?
It's a difficult one because obviously I know we know certain things, but we don't. I think we're never going to know the full extent. So I think it's really hard to comment on what we shouldn't do with him. For me, anyway, I just hope on the human aspects, like obviously hope things work out for him. That being said, at the end of the day, it's a professional sports team, and if personal issues are meaning you can't perform, then it's certainly something that should be considered. But I don't want to necessarily say what the Phils should or shouldn't do. I just hope they've got the right people working on it, and if he needs support from them, hopefully he can get it.
Yeah, it's Philly Nation. It's actually Ty Dubert who did the article on the Phillies Nation. Really, really good article. I really hope he figures it out. Just in a general human side of things. It's horrible. It sounds horrible what he's going through. It just seems like he is getting support from his teammates. I just hope he figures this out. Not only for the Phillies, but for him himself. Bryson Stott's starting to come out of a little bit of a slump as well. His average is picking up. It's, again, 3 RBIs all season. 0.204 average. It's not enough. It's not enough. He's starting to pick it up. It's just not enough. Again, Garcia to a point and Bohm in that middle is horrible at the moment. JT's picked it up. Marsh has really picked it up. Turner's picking it up. Now average at .260, getting on base more, starting to get the extra base hits as well. Couple of home runs now to his name. OPS creeping up to .705. Rich, you told us, stick with the man. He's crawling himself back up. All of a sudden, his stats relatively to everyone else, especially the last 7 games, he's got 4 RBI, 2 home runs, and batting. His last 15 games, he's now batting at 2.83. So he is now picking up. Rich, you must be, as a Turner man, happy to see this.
He's a good player, and like, he has stretches like any baseball player does. But I think the amount of sort of criticism he gets, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying he's immune from criticism, but I think the amount he gets compared to his production just seems over the top. Like, he's not going to be that 50 home run Kyle Schwarber guy, or even a 30 home run guy. But he gets on base, and hopefully, like you said, these extra base hits come. He's probably not going to steal quite as much.
He's on one so far.
Yeah, but when he's on the bases, we just need to get the ball in play, and then he can score from first.
Yep. He's now 5th, just behind Crawford and Marsh in OPS. Harper 2nd, Schwarber, of course, 1st. Garcia also now starting to rise. Again, but all this damage, frustratingly,
done. That must all be without runners in score, because we're saying, all these players are starting to get better, but where's the results? Like,
this is exactly what I'm segueing to now. The personal stats, you look at it, and it's the same with the pitching to an extent. It's all good. But the runners in scoring position, pitching-wise, we fall apart. Batting side, is it the pressure? Is it the pressure on both sides? The pitching these last 3 games has not been great. And it's runners in scoring position. Is it the pressure? Defensive errors are coming with runners in scoring position. The amount of times the Cubs scoring runs because of stupid errors was ridiculous. And again, with the bats, runners in scoring position, we're not doing it. What's that down to? It's like last week we were discussing it. Is it Kevin Long? Is it a mental side of things? Do they need a reset? Where's the spark coming from? Morgan, is the spark going to come from the minors? Because my word, I'm seeing some really, really good thing from the minors at the moment. Felix Reyes, talk to me, buddy. He's lighting it up. We said it pre-season. We spoke about Felix Reyes in the pre-season, especially when Spencer McCurcher was on as well. He looks like now the next guy waiting in the wings. And for me, it's interesting because a guy this hot, you would like to put in a team and play quite a lot, give him the regular at-bats and keep his momentum. However, when he comes up, he's going to be a bench bat. He's going to be sat down a lot, and I can't help feel that we wouldn't get the full productiveness from Felix Reyes that we'd like to see with him being a pure bench bat and playing once every 4 or 5 days, coming up for one bat. I want to see Reyes come up and get starts and get plenty of at-bats and carry his hot bat through to the majors. If you're going to bring him up and sit him, don't bother. On the flip side, Otto Kemp needs to go the other way. He needs at-bats because his start season's been horrible. In fact, I'd probably bring Dela Cruz up for Otto Kemp, but they're starting to clamour for Reyes, Morgan. Where are you on this one?
I agree with you. I don't think he should come up. As you say, yes, he's hitting really well, but what are you going to do? Bring him up and sit him most of the time? Because Brandon Marshall has played so much because we face so many righties. If you bring him up, what's he going to do? One of the only ways of doing it is if you get really funky with it and you end up putting Kyle in left. I saw someone on Twitter say this and I don't agree with it, but you put Kyle in left and it opens up a DH spot and you can do that, which sounds insane, but it's a way to get someone into line and ruin that defense. But then Brandon Marshall's out the team, who again is hitting really well. We know exactly what Marsh is. He kills righty pitching. I don't know the solution because I don't think Reyes should come up. But at the same time, with Kemp, right? He had a 987 OPS in AAA last year. And it was like, cool, we'll bring Kemp up. And then he's struggled. How real is this Felix Reyes? Because, yes, his numbers are great, and he's got a 958 OPS, very similar to Otto Kemp's numbers when he was brought up. And then Kemp's not really kind of adapted to the majors. Is Felix Reyes going to be the same? I don't want him to be. But, again, there's such a big gap between AAA and the majors. We see so many players across the league. It's not just a Phillies thing. They come up and then they're sent down. Or they're sent up and back and up and down. They yo-yo between the minors and the majors.
It's that classic AAA player, isn't it? The quadruple A player.
Joe Adele, I think, was one of them for years, and he finally figured out last year and hit 30 home runs for the Angels. How real is this Felix Reyes run? Like, yes, it looks great on paper, but I don't know how much I believe in it, and I don't really want him up at the moment. Kemper went down because I want him to get the at-bats.
He needs him.
He's coming into games cold as anything, so he's not really playing, and then hitting badly, and everyone's like, well, he's crap. Well, he's not getting the chance. In terms of other minor league players, if we're on minor league now,
yep.
One
it was that segue. I was bringing you in for that.
Mitch Rupert, Illyrio Ferrabus is a catching prospect. We don't have many catching prospects in the system. Hettiger's one in AA that I mentioned earlier in preseason. Mentioned him. Obviously, Tate was traded for Duran, so we don't have much catching depth. But Ferrabus he's got a 1.004 OPS. He's hitting 370 for the Clearwater Threshers this year in 8 games. It's a nice start for a catching prospect. So we'll kind of see where that goes without much catching depth. He might be able to fly up the minors this year. We might see him in AA or even AAA, depending on, because Garrett Stubbs is hitting quite well and Hettiger's in AA. So there might be a starting catcher at high A, AA, AAA that you can kind of say there's something there. And the other two, both on the pitching side, Gage Wood has been phenomenal. He's got an ERA of 0.79. He threw 4 scoreless innings again the other day. He's allowed 1 earned run in 11.1 innings, and he topped out at 97 miles an hour the other day. And I think we have to touch on Wheeler because he's still down there. One more start on Sunday for Reading the other night. 5.2 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned runs, which I think 2 of them came after he'd left the game, and they were his runners that were still on base. He got 9 Ks in 5 2/3. He reached 95 mile an hour himself. 72 pitches, 49 strikes. So I think Wheeler's pretty close, to be fair. Obviously, one start, but if he's touching 95 mile an hour and striking out 9 guys in 5 2/3, yes, it's AA, but AA is pretty competitive because you've got young guys trying to make it. So I think Wheeler's not far from it. Gage Wood's looking terrifyingly good. And
I look forward to Jack Fritz's morning Wood reports on Twitter.
Yeah, would have moved quickly, but at the same time, the rotation is pretty good. Obviously, yes, there's been some bad luck. Nola's got a bit unlucky. Luzardo's got a bit unlucky, but we've touched on that. Sanchez isn't looking as dominant, and Taiwan Walker's looking like a 5-starter. Wheeler's pretty close to moving up. So Wood should move quickly. He might end up just spending a lot of this year in AAA and waiting. And Painter's looked pretty good, to be fair, for us this year.
Yeah.
He's had a few hiccups, but Painters look pretty good, so we don't need Gage Wood like other teams would. Our rotation is one of the best in the sport, even if on paper at the moment it isn't. Talent-wise, it is. So Gage Wood's pitching well, and he can fly up, and we'll see. And Alex McFarlane also looking pretty good. Yeah, I did see a tweet about him earlier. So there is some positives in the minors. I don't know how much of it we can translate to the majors or where it comes from, because I think the one position you need an upgrade in is the infield, whether that's replacing Bryson Stott, who's looking pretty poor, or Alec Boehm, who we've touched upon. And the one man you'd look at is Aiden Miller, obviously, who's still not picked up. He's still not.
Yeah.
There's a really worrying report that he's weeks, if not months away. So I'm hoping Miller's going to be okay, and this isn't going to be a long-term thing. But that's the man that everyone would be clamouring for, get Miller into the majors if he was healthy. But he's unfortunate.
Yeah, Miller, the reports just aren't good. This back injury is blighting him right now. Dante Norris staying hot, by the way, averaging .317, 1 home run, 4 RBI, OPS of .870 in AA. Dela Cruz is a guy who I would personally bring up next. He's now on 4 home runs, 14 RBIs, looking at an average of .233. He's on 15 strikeouts, but there's then Felix Reyes. Him and Reyes are on the same. He is walking a lot more. He's got 12 walks to Reyes' 2.
Yeah.
OPS not as high. Also, Stuart Baroa, the other outfielder in AAA, has also had a nice start. 1 home run, 4 RBI, 2 walks. Hasn't struck out hardly at all. Only 6 strikeouts this year, an average of .269. The outfield in AAA is really getting it together and look ready if needed to be called upon. I just wish Rincones was in there, man. Like, where is Gabriel Rincones? It's like he's vanished off the face of the earth right now. There's just no reports on him. The bullpen I will get into next week. I want to see how the bullpen go this week before I bring this up. Tanner Banks hasn't had a great start. There's a few. We'll go into the bullpen in more detail next week.
RIP the Tim run. Sorry, I just want to touch upon the Tim Sanity run from Tim Mazer.
Go on.
Was that 8 2/3 with 10 Ks and not an earned run before he gave up 3 earned runs? I think his ERA jumped to 3.00 because he gave up 3 earned runs he got 1 out and gave up 3 runs against the Cubs the other day. But he went, I think, 8 2/3 with 10 Ks and not gave up a run. So, shout out Tim Mazer because no one expected that.
No.
Yeah, he's been amazing.
And then we've got Bacchus, a backup. No, right. Sorry. Next up this weekend, we've got the Braves, who have scored the most runs in the MLB so far. They're already on 106. For comparison, we're on 72. The bulk of those 72 have come in one game for us. We've had 3 games where we've scored plus 10. The rest of them we get shut out. But my word, the Braves are frightening with the bat right now. The matchups, we're on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night. NBC, Fox, and Peacock. So I'm not staying up for those. I'm not going to lie. Unless we win game 1, then you may have my interest peaked. Tyon Walker versus Martin Perez. Saturday matchup's fantastic. Christopher Sanchez versus Chris Sale. Ooh, on paper, it's a beauty. And then Andrew Penta versus Grant Holmes, which is another very interesting matchup. Look, this is a tough series. If we can win that series, it will make a bit of a statement. And I would hope it would be a jolt for this team to be what is a very good swinging, high-flying Braves right now. However, last week I predicted would sweep the D-backs and beat the Cubs. And it went terribly wrong. So I don't know. I'm quite wary of this Braves. This is Phillies being Phillies usually when they pull things out the bag and suck us straight back in. Rich, what do you reckon this weekend?
Sweep. We're sweeping them.
Right. Well,
I refuse to go into a series. This week.
I know. I'm the same. I can't
go into a series going, oh yeah, we're probably going to lose this one.
It's heart and head, isn't it? Yeah. My heart. My head says we're probably going to lose this.
It's the Braves. Well. I mean, if anything should give them a spark, it's playing the Braves.
And I tell you what, I can't stand the Braves as much as I can't stand the Mets. I really don't like the Braves. Morgan, what do you reckon?
We win 2 of 3. I think the first game's going to be weird because Martin Perez is lefty and we can't hit lefties at the moment.
No, I know. As against Walker.
Sanchez Sale, I'm hoping works in our favour because we don't hit. But if Sanchez can shut them out and we can win it 2-1 and just keep that game super low scoring and we win it low, it won't be nice for the heart, but I think we can win that. And then, Painter against Grant Holmes?
Yeah.
I'll back Andrew Painter to get us a win there in another low scoring game.
Yeah, I can't back us to lose a series. I never will. So I'm going to say we take 2 of 3. Season's back on. Vibes are high going into the Sixers and Flyers in their postseason. South Philly will be rocking by this time next week. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. The inter-podcast prediction game is not going well for me, Richard. Where are I with this?
Well, after week 1, when we all went for the Red Sox, and the Red Sox let us down this last week, we all went for the Cardinals against the Red Sox, and the Red Sox decided to show up.
Of course.
We all lost that one.
Yep.
Morgan and I both got the Angels correct, and then the 3 of us all took a win from the Mariners. So it's currently myself 4-2, Morgan's 3-3, and you are 2-4, languishing at the bottom of the standings.
Just letting you all get... I'm doing a Phillies right now. I'm just stuttering. I'm just biding my time. Predictions this week. What will we going for, folks? What games have we got?
So my selection was Reds at the Twins because somehow the ghost of the Twins is who'd have predicted it, and it's
they've got to slow down at some point.
You would think so.
I think they won 13 in a row at point last year, and by the deadline they sold everyone. So I think the Twins will slow down.
I've
Well,
still
you say that, but you and I, Morgan, have both gone for the Twins to win.
yeah, I've gone Reds.
Yeah, I think that's this weekend.
Yeah, they will slow down, just not yet.
Yeah, not yet.
No, 11-8 Twins.
Yeah, they have to slow down at some point. The Reds have been pretty good as well.
Reds also 11-8. Yep, lost their last game. Tied at the top. Who would have had the Pirates and the Reds at the top of the Central? Although the Pirates usually do make a good start, they tend to fall away. But it's a tricky series. I'm going Reds, and then we've got Brewers and
The Marlins.
Marlins.
Miami.
Good stuff. Well, Marlins are second division. They are 9-10 below 500. The Brewers are 10-8 after what was a stonking start by them. They've cooled dramatically off. Now find themselves fourth in the division. But however, the Marlins aren't that good. We're all going Brewers, aren't we?
Yeah. The Brewers are the Brewers. They led the league last year in wins. They'll do it again. They have black magic.
And we've gone for what should be a very interesting AL West matchup between the Rangers and the Mariners. Rangers 9-9, Mariners 8-11. Rangers, both teams are on the back of losing their last two games. The A's are top of that division. You know, how crazy is to start this division? I know we've got our problems at the moment, but the Astros had gone, through a 7-8 losing streak? They have won their last two now, starting to pick things up again, but they're languishing at the bottom of the AL West. Detroit Tigers are still at 500.
The Reds are currently tied with the Rangers as well, as we're...
Oh, at the moment, yep. The Blue Jays and the Red Sox are both 7-11. You know, the Yankees have cooled right off and now down. Have lost the lead to the Rays in that division. You know, it's wild. Apart from the Dodgers, who are 14-4 and let them go, the Padres. I remember the first predictions we made. The Padres were something like 1-6. They're now 12-6. You know, it's still wild times all over baseball. We have got our problems, and the Mets have lost their last 8. 8. Who would have thought us two are fighting to be the worst team at the moment? But yeah, you know, the problems are all around baseball right now. Everyone's going through it. Apart from the Yankees and the Braves, everyone else is scuppering. They are. There's no consistency at all at the moment. Momentum. So who are we going for in that final game?
I've gone Texas. I've gone different. Seattle did me a favour. Now I'll stab them in the back. Texas to win that series.
Yeah, we've got Mariners. I've got Mariners.
Yeah, I've got Mariners as well. I just think, I'm watching the Rangers against us. I wasn't that impressed. I mean, if they made it hard, I know they won a couple, but if they make it hard work against us, like, how good can they really be?
Yeah, but not what we played this year.
This is it. I've just spotted that runs scored. Like, the Nationals have scored 107 runs, which I think is the most in baseball. The Washington Nationals, 107 runs. The Angels have had 105. 105 runs. Houston Astros are bottom of that division. 105 runs. The pitching, though, across the board is not great in general. I've got to say. You know, even Skeens hasn't been as lights out as he has been. So I think pitching in general... Get this. So the Nationals on 107 runs scored. Most in baseball. Their run differential is -10. They've allowed 117 runs. That is insane. That's a crazy baseball stat.
They need to play us, and we'll bring that stat back into a normal range.
Yeah, we have. By the way, no surprise, we have allowed 97. So the Washington Nationals are ahead of us. Who else is even near us? D-backs allowed 87. We're in the lower reaches with runs allowed at the moment as well. Look, it's a new week coming up. It's a big Braves series. Let's try and the positive. Look, if we can beat the Braves, and I don't really care how we do it, just win a series and get some momentum back. Especially as, again, next week's schedule doesn't look that horrendous. We've got the Braves free, and then we go back to playing the Cubs again. We're going back now down the schedule, so it'll be Cubs, and then it'll be, I think, the D-backs or the Giants, one of those two again after. Again, all wildcardy playoff teams that we realistically should be beating. Look, I just need the Phils to somehow get above 500 to end the month. I think it's still very doable, and that will be a sort of get out of jail free card for what this month has been so far. Keep us in touch with the Braves. We've got them twice this month, and then we're pretty much done with them for the rest of the season. But let's finish on a high. We're going to beat the Braves this weekend. Painter's going to shove. Sanchez is going to rediscover his dominance. And Tyon Walker's going to give up less than 6 runs in the first inning. Let's go. Guys, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. As ever, hit the like button, subscribe, and we will see you next week for hopefully a happier, more cheery podcast. From me, Dave Shaw, it is Ring the Bell. From Morgan.
Ring the bell.
And from Richard.
Ring the bell.
Goodbye, folks.